So this is the trim molding for the 56 Continental that we're doing. We basically take it through the milling process and then file it, block sand it, hammer form it, re-block sand it, and then gets chromed eventually. These are all machined out of brass. We took a template off of like the factory piece that came on the car, and then scribed that onto a piece of sheet metal, just to kind of use as like a template gauge for this thing. Machine it out, and then fit it to the car. We got kind of this fixture set up on the mill table to keep it all straight while we're machining it. But afterwards, it's going to get like hammer formed to fit the contours of the car and everything. Yeah, so once we get it to this point, it's kind of just a slow, methodical process to run the part all the way through the mill, keep moving these fixtures to keep the thing down, straight, and everything while you're milling it. But I'll go ahead and flip the machine on now and show you a little bit of that process. So I have the mill fixed at the depth of the cut that I'm at right now. And then ideally I'm trying to ease into where I have the machine set. And I have the auto feed on so it kind of blends it in so you don't have like a nasty gouge when it starts cutting. So you try to kind of blend it out when you stop on the other side, and then when the machine starts coming in, try to blend it in as best you can. Like I said, we still got to come back and do like some file work and some touch-up stuff, but the idea is to get it as close as you can coming out of the mill. So now it's just a bit of a slow process of running the machine as far as you can over to your fixtures. Move your clamps and keep running the part. When the mill's running over the top of it, you don't want your part moving. It has a little bit of chatter just by the nature of cutting, but as tight as we can get it is what we're going for. Yeah, you see how this thing is, it gets kind of bent out of shape? It's just as you're cutting away the material, the whole thing wants to start bowing and moving certain ways. So it's why it's important while you're milling it to keep this thing clamped and tight as best you can. You see the scribe mark on there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So on the very end of the part, I'll show you, I have a fixture, or like a little template that I use. So I just Sharpied the end of the part, and I take that little template over there and I scribe it over, and those are kind of my marks that I'm going to. I have some notes on like the angle of cuts that I'm doing and a few depth measurements, but basically that just gives me a good like visual reference to make sure I'm on the right track. So like I said, this front profile, that was the last cut for that. I'll go check my notes, reset the head of the mill, fixture thing back in there, and then finish off this last cut. That might be one, maybe two cuts to get this thing finished out. The reason I guess we are doing it is since we took the roof off the thing, the trim that's running along the doors, it just kind of ends now. So there's no real good stopping point for the trim that was there. So this is, and I'll show you how this fits up on the factory trim, but that's basically a template that we took off of the factory piece. And so we're trying to mill out this to finish out the whole rest of like behind the back seats of the car, because that's where the roof came down before, and now we're trying to finish it out from where the trim ends on the top of the doors. To get kind of all the right dimensions and everything, I just took a scrap piece, used my template, and that was kind of the first rough cut that I got figured out. This one's too tall, but like I said, within a couple of pieces, I got a decent enough chunk for us to look at and see if it was going to fit the car. And see, so that one's close, right? You just go through kind of a couple additions of getting the angles figured out, and then you see how we're looking on this piece. And so this is the one that this one will be going on the car. And so you see we just have a little chunk left up there on the top, but it's fitting the template pretty good. How we get that profile on the top of the trim is we custom make a, either cut it out of just a regular end mill. What we actually ended up using was a wood router. So this is how we're getting the profile on like that outer surface that you'll see on the trim, because it's not flat. It's like it's a soft radius, and so a standard end mill is just going to give you a flat cut. So to get that soft radius, we custom cut this wood router, and so I'll show you how it lays up. So see there how that kind of fits that top profile of the part we're going for, and then we use the same bit and flip it on the other side, and that gives us the top. And so it's real subtle, but at the edge of this router, the cutting edge kind of tapers out, so it's not going to give you a hard edge, and it's got like a real gradual radius to it. And so that's how at the end, when you come out to your brass part, it gives it a real soft radius at the top instead of just a flat cut. This is the other half that I finished up a couple of days ago. This one we have block sanded up to 400 grit, and that's kind of where we'll leave it for now until we get the thing hammer formed and fit on the car. And then, because if you make any little imperfections while you're handling it, you can still come back and tune it up. But that's where we're going to leave this piece until we hammer form it. But it's pretty cool to check out. So this is that template, which kind of used as a gauge. You see that? It fits pretty much perfect over the part. So that's what we're going for. So this is the trim on top of the door that we modeled that template after. And so, so that's going to fit up nicely with that. And so this piece is what's going to wrap around where the back seats are going and kind of this main cabin area for the car. So we're going to seam them both right down the middle of the car. Like I said, it's like overall it's 11-ish feet, and so we got two 6-foot pieces. Like I said, we got a little room for error, but not a whole lot. But that's where this thing's going to lay. And so we'll hammer form this thing to fit this contour and lay down nicely on the car.